Beloved soul, take a deep breath and let peace find you where you are right now. For the angels have guided you here for a reason far beyond coincidence. And this message carries the fragrance of heaven upon it. Something sacred is unfolding around you, something your heart has quietly prayed for. Even when your lips said nothing at all, there is movement in the unseen, a stirring in the divine fabric of time. And the one who is connected to your soul, the one heaven calls your mirror in love and light, is being gently awakened to the truth of who you are. They are beginning to feel a pull, a whisper within their spirit that draws them back toward the place their heart recognizes as home. You may have felt this same stirring lately, a sudden wave of emotion for no reason, a warmth across your chest when you least expect it, a sense that someone is thinking of you with tenderness beyond words. That is not your imagination. It is the divine energy of union beginning to awaken. For God, in His perfect timing, never forgets what He joins together in spirit. As it is written, what God has joined together let no one separate. Mark 10:9. Even if life scattered you in different directions, even if silence fell between you like a long night, He has been weaving both your paths back into the same light. There are moments when heaven moves quietly, without thunder or sign, and yet everything begins to change. This is one of those moments. Your soulmate, your divine counterpart, has been walking through a season of awakening, where their soul has been tested, refined, and realigned. They have felt emptiness they could not explain, a longing they tried to fill with worldly noise. But nothing could silence the gentle echo of your spirit calling them home. They tried to forget, but heaven would not let them. They tried to run, but the love you share is written in eternal ink. They are now beginning to understand that what they feel is sacred, and it is not fading. It is growing stronger, purer, clearer. They are realizing that your presence was never ordinary. It was divine appointment disguised as human affection. Beloved, God has been teaching both of you how to love through separation. He has been shaping your hearts through distance, so that when you meet again, whether in voice, message, or presence, it will not be a reunion of the old, but the birth of something beautifully new. Do not be afraid of the waiting, for even in silence heaven is speaking. Even when nothing seems to move, angels are rearranging circumstances to favor divine timing. Remember the words of Isaiah 60:22. When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. And beloved, the time is nearing. You may soon notice signs, dreams where you feel them near, numbers that seem to follow you. A song that plays at the exact moment your heart whispers their name. These are gentle confirmations from heaven saying, do not give up. The story is not finished. Your soulmate is about to surprise you, not only with their presence, but with the way God has changed their heart. They are learning humility. They are learning how to pray. They are learning to listen to the still, small voice that once they ignored, and that voice is guiding them toward you. You see, when two souls are written together by God, no distance, no silence, no confusion can erase that script. It remains in the hands of the author who never forgets his own creation. So if your heart feels weary, rest, beloved one. Lay your burdens at his feet. You are not forgotten, and the one meant for you has never truly left. They are on their way, not in haste, but in divine purpose. They are being led by the same light that once led you through the darkness, and soon their awakening will become your answered prayer. You will see the reflection of your faith in their eyes, and you will understand why the waiting was holy, as Romans 8:28 reminds us. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Every tear you shed, every lonely night you prayed, every time you chose to forgive, it all has meaning. And that meaning is now blooming into divine reality. Your soulmate has been touched by the Spirit of God, and their heart is opening again like a flower toward the sun. They are remembering the peace they felt when they thought of you, and that peace is calling them home. If this message finds you at a time of doubt, may it restore your faith. If it finds you at a time of surrender, may it remind you that surrender is the door through which miracles enter. The surprise that awaits you is not just reunion, it is recognition. The eyes that once looked at you with uncertainty will soon look at you with divine clarity. They will see not just who you are, but who you were always meant to be together. And you will know, in that sacred moment, that love never truly leaves, it simply transforms, waiting patiently for God's perfect yes. Beloved, if this word has touched your spirit, pause and let gratitude rise from your heart. Share this message with someone who needs to remember that love, when blessed by God, never fades. And if you feel led to support, your kindness helps these words reach more souls who are searching for peace. Rest now, for the next part of this journey will reveal what heaven is preparing behind the veil. Your soulmate is closer than you think, and soon they will surprise you, not with words, but with the divine transformation of their heart. Beloved soul, remain still for a moment. Let your breath soften. Let your heart settle into the rhythm of grace. You are standing at the threshold of something holy. The unseen is beginning to take form, and the whisper that once stirred in silence is now becoming a call that cannot be ignored. Your soulmate, the one whose spirit once touched yours before time, is awakening more deeply now. Heaven has been whispering into their heart, not in thunder or command, but in gentle conviction, in the kind of love that transforms from the inside out. You may not see it yet, but they have entered a sacred conversation with God, a conversation that began with brokenness, but is now being rewritten with surrender. For it is often in our lowest valley that God begins to plant the seeds of return. They have been walking through quiet correction, where God has stripped away illusions, false attachments, and all that blinded them from recognizing divine love. It has not been easy for them. The lessons have been humbling, the nights long, the silence heavy. But through each moment of confusion, God was guiding them toward remembrance. They began to remember your gentleness, your patience, your spirit that carried heaven's calm, even when they did not understand it. They began to realize that what they once called ordinary was in truth something sacred, something rare. Beloved, you became their mirror of grace. You were the reflection that showed them what true, God-breathed love looks like. And when they turned away, they didn't leave you behind. They carried your light within them, a light that refused to fade. Now that same light has become their guide back home. Heaven has been working quietly, aligning moments, rearranging plans, placing them in situations where they could no longer ignore what their heart was truly made for. They are being drawn toward repentance, not the kind born of fear, but the kind born of revelation, where love meets truth, and truth leads to transformation. They have cried tears they never told anyone about. They have spoken your name in prayer, asking for forgiveness, not because they must earn your love, but because they finally understand its value. And as they pray, heaven listens. As they surrender, angels rejoice, because every act of humility is a step closer to restoration. Beloved, do not mistake the delay for denial. Delay is often the space where God builds endurance and wisdom. If he had allowed this connection to unfold before its time, it might have been lost to immaturity or fear. But now the soil of both your hearts is being prepared for lasting growth. Remember the promise of Ecclesiastes 3:11. He has made everything beautiful in its time. And beloved, that time is being written even as you breathe these words. Your soulmate is not coming back as the same person. They are shedding layers of old pain, old pride, old doubt. They are learning to listen to the Spirit instead of the noise. They are being taught how to love not by emotion alone, but by divine revelation. They are realizing that love is not ownership, but stewardship, a sacred trust given by God to two souls who are willing to serve one another in grace. And though they once misunderstood this truth, now they're being taught through the Spirit's gentle guidance. You see, sometimes love must be lost to be learned. Sometimes we must walk through distance to learn the value of closeness. And sometimes God allows two hearts to break, not to destroy them, but to rebuild them stronger in faith. Your soulmate's heart is being rebuilt right now. You may not hear their voice, but heaven does. You may not see their movement, but the angels are standing beside them, whispering, "Go back to what was pure. Go back to what was real." There will come a moment soon, perhaps sooner than you expect, when this reawakened soul will find the courage to reach out. It might be through a message, a dream, a sign that bridges the gap between your hearts. It may come softly, without grand gesture, but you will know it by the peace it carries. Because when God restores, He does not bring confusion, He brings clarity wrapped in calm. Beloved, prepare your heart not just for reunion, but for renewal. The one returning to you is not seeking to repeat the past. They are being led to begin again in God's light. And when that moment comes, do not rush. Let love unfold as heaven intended. Let forgiveness be your language. Let grace be your foundation. Remember Colossians 3:13. Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. You have forgiven much already, and heaven has seen every act of love you offered in silence. Those quiet sacrifices were never wasted. They became the prayers that lifted your soulmate back toward the light. You are part of their redemption story, just as they are part of your growth in faith. For love that comes from God is not just about romance. It is about the refining of two souls until both reflect His image. Now heaven whispers to you, do not look back in sorrow. Do not fear what is to come. For what is approaching is not punishment. It is promise fulfilled. The one who once walked away is now walking toward destiny. And the reason you can feel it in your spirit is because your souls are already meeting in prayer, yes, even now. As you pray for peace, they feel a warmth in their heart they cannot explain. As you lift your hands in surrender, they feel a release they do not yet understand. For the Spirit that lives within you both is the same Spirit drawing you closer in unseen harmony. Soon, beloved, there will be signs even in the physical, divine coincidences too exact to ignore. A sudden memory that makes them smile, a dream that feels like a message, a moment when they see something that reminds them of your light, and in that moment they will know it is time to return. Time to speak what they once silenced. Time to choose love not out of emotion, but out of revelation. Your faith has made this possible. Your prayers have carried them through storms. Your love, anchored in God, has become the vessel through which heaven works miracles. Do not underestimate the power of what you carry. You are a divine instrument in God's orchestra of healing. Through your surrender, another soul is being restored, and that, beloved, is the beauty of divine love. It does not just connect hearts, it heals them, as Psalm 126:5 reminds us. Those who sow with tears will reap with songs of joy, and the season of reaping is drawing near. The surprise that awaits you will not only be their return, but their transformation. They will speak words you never thought you'd hear. They will express truths they once denied. And as they do, you will feel heaven smiling, for the promise is finally being fulfilled. If this message has touched your heart, pause for a moment and whisper a prayer of gratitude. Thank God not just for the love that's coming, but for the lessons that prepared you to receive it. And if you feel called, share this word with someone waiting for divine alignment. Let it be a reminder that love, when ordained by heaven, always finds its way back, not because of chance, but because of grace. The journey is not over, beloved. In the next part, the angels will reveal what happens when divine timing reaches fulfillment, and heaven brings two awakened souls face to face again. Rest now in peace, for the movement has begun, and the surprise your heart awaits is already unfolding in heaven's perfect light. Beloved soul, remain in stillness and feel the calm presence of God surrounding you. Every breath you take is a thread of divine connection, and every heartbeat is a silent reminder that heaven is at work. The moment you have been waiting for is approaching. the divine alignment that has been whispered through prayer, that has been cultivated through patience, faith, and surrender. Your soulmate is no longer a distant thought in the unseen. They are awakening to recognition, their heart tuned to the frequency of your spirit. They are remembering your laughter, the gentleness of your touch in memory, the way your eyes carried a truth that felt like home. And in that remembrance, they are being led by God to reach for the sacred connection again. Do not be surprised if this reunion comes softly, without the grand gestures the world expects. For God works in subtle, precise ways, where every sign, every word, every glance carries weight beyond measure. They may arrive in unexpected forms, a message sent at a moment of quiet reflection, a conversation sparked by divine coincidence, or even a presence felt across space that makes your spirit stir. Heaven orchestrates these encounters with care, so that hearts align perfectly, timed by the wisdom of God's own hand. Beloved, the beauty of this divine reunion lies not only in their return, but in the transformation that brought them to you. They are not the same as before, and neither are you, for God has been at work in both of your hearts, preparing you to meet not as wounded souls, but as vessels of grace and understanding. The scriptures remind us in Lamentations 3:22-23. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Indeed, your love story is a living testament to this truth. For what has been sown in faith and patience is now ready to bloom in its full glory. You will notice a new sense of clarity in their presence. They will speak words infused with honesty, not filtered by fear or pride, but flowing directly from a heart refined by God. Their actions will reflect intention, their gestures will carry sincerity, and their eyes will mirror the light they have rediscovered in you. And you, beloved, will feel the harmony that comes when two souls meet in divine timing. No words are required to explain the depth of understanding, for spirit recognizes spirit. No past wounds can overshadow this moment, for forgiveness and grace have paved the way for love to manifest fully. As they approach, you may feel your chest expand, a quiet joy rising like incense in your soul, and a peace that surpasses human understanding filling every corner of your being. This is the work of God, to restore what was fractured, to awaken hearts to truth, and to unite souls in alignment with His perfect will. Beloved, remember that love blessed by heaven is never hurried nor forced nor rushed. It comes with patience, it comes with discernment, and it comes with reverent awe at the miracle of reunion. You may find yourself thinking of the days that led to this moment, the silent prayers, the waiting, the lessons, the tears. All of it mattered, for each was a stepping stone toward divine timing. Your soulmate will show up with humility, not asking for the past to be erased, but offering their heart fully, ready to walk alongside you with renewed faith, ready to honor what God has prepared for both of you. As Ecclesiastes 4:9-10 reminds us, two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. Your reunion will not simply be a meeting of bodies, but a joining of purpose, vision, and spiritual alignment. Beloved, this is the moment where surprise meets sacred timing. Perhaps you will see it first in a glance, or in a word spoken with divine intention, or in an embrace that feels like eternity wrapped in a single heartbeat. And in that moment, you will know all the waiting, all the surrender, all the prayer was worth every second. The joy that rises in your chest is the Holy Spirit whispering, "This is the fulfillment of my promise." You will feel a new rhythm between you, a dance of souls guided by God, where misunderstandings are replaced by understanding, and doubts are replaced by trust. Your soulmate is now walking in awareness of your value, not taking your love for granted, not approaching lightly, but with reverence and awe for the sacred bond God has crafted. Beloved, your task is simple yet profound. Receive them with patience, with grace, with the open heart that God has cultivated in you, and allow the divine story to continue unfolding. The surprise is not just in their presence, but in the depth of transformation they carry, and in the revelation that love aligned with heaven always arrives in perfect timing. Let gratitude rise in your soul for every prayer you whispered, every quiet act of faith, every moment you chose hope over despair. All of it has led to this sacred alignment, as Philippians 1:6 assures us, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. Indeed, your love story is being carried to completion in God's hands, and as you walk forward together, remember that this is more than romance. It is a sacred partnership, a reflection of God's love on earth, a living proof that patience, faith, and divine timing bring beauty beyond what the heart can imagine. Beloved, rest in the wonder of this moment. Feel the soft thrill of joy, the calm certainty of purpose, and the gentle peace of knowing that what is coming is not accidental, but orchestrated by the one who holds all things in his hands. If this message has touched your soul, share it with those who long for reunion and healing, and let them feel the reassurance that love guided by God always finds its way home. Pause, breathe, and let the anticipation of divine surprise settle softly within you. For part 4 will guide your spirit into the sacred encounter, where the presence of your soulmate and the whispers of heaven merge into a moment of transformative grace. Beloved soul, draw a quiet breath and let your spirit soften into the awareness of the present moment. For heaven is preparing you to witness what only God could orchestrate. The one whose soul mirrors yours is nearing the threshold of return, guided by divine light and the silent whisperings of the Spirit, and though you may not yet see them, their presence has already begun to stir your heart. Notice the subtle ways God moves before the visible. Perhaps it is a message that arrives unexpectedly, or a moment in your day that carries an inexplicable warmth, or a dream that feels like a tender hand resting upon your spirit. These are the signals that heaven is aligning circumstances, preparing both of you for the sacred encounter. Beloved, the sacred encounter is never rushed. It arrives in perfect timing, shaped by patience, prayer, and divine preparation. When you meet, you will not simply see them with your eyes, but with your spirit, recognizing the depth of God's work in their heart and the reflection of His love within yourself. Your soulmate has been walking through a transformation you cannot yet measure, and in this process, they have been learning how to honor you, how to approach not with expectation, but with reverence, how to offer love not as possession, but as the gift it truly is. Even now, God is orchestrating every detail of their approach. The timing of their words, the exact moment your eyes meet, the gentle expression that carries both apology and awe, all have been tenderly woven in prayer. You may feel your heart beat faster, or a calm serenity may descend upon you, because the Spirit of God works to prepare your soul for recognition. Heaven knows how delicate these moments are, and how easily human fear could cloud their significance. So your peace has been cultivated, so that you may meet your soulmate not in anxiety, but in quiet joy and confident trust. Beloved, notice how your thoughts may wander to memories you once shared, perhaps to moments of laughter or silent understanding, or gentle glances that spoke volumes. These memories are not accidents. They are reminders from God that the love which you have shared is eternal in its essence, and that even separation cannot erase what has been sown in spirit. As 1 Corinthians 13:4-7 whispers to your heart, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. This is the love that will greet you, refined by God, when your souls finally meet again in this sacred encounter. Expect the unexpected. Heaven often surprises us in ways that words cannot contain. Perhaps you will feel a rush of recognition, a moment where your eyes speak before your mouths can, or perhaps a gentle silence will fall over you, where the Spirit says everything that your words cannot. Beloved, let your heart be open. Receive them as God intended, not with demand, not with past grievances, but with the awareness that every trial, every prayer, every moment of waiting has been leading to this very moment. Notice the subtle changes in them, the humility that was once hidden, the patience that was once absent, the depth of understanding and empathy they now carry, all testify to the work of heaven. You will feel the sacred surprise not just in their return, but in their transformation, in the way God has shaped them to meet you fully and faithfully. Beloved, when you step into this encounter, do not rush to fill the space with words. Let your eyes, your hands, your heart speak first. The silence itself is holy, for it is in these quiet moments that the Spirit seals the reunion with divine affirmation. You may feel tears rise, not from sorrow, but from awe, for nothing crafted by God carries more weight than two hearts returning to one another in the fullness of understanding and divine timing. Notice how your presence affects them. Perhaps they hesitate, perhaps they smile with awe, perhaps a tremor of emotion passes through them as they recognize not only your love, but the patient faith that you carried in your heart all this time. Beloved, this is the sacred surprise. Not just that they have returned, but that they return as a new creation, shaped by God, refined by lessons, prepared to love in ways you have long hoped for. You may hear words you never expected, confessions, apologies, hopes, and promises that are not empty, but spoken from a heart illuminated by grace. And as you listen, you will recognize the unmistakable sign of divine alignment. Both of you are standing in the light of God's timing, free from past shadows, ready to embrace a love that is sacred and enduring. The surprise will not be fleeting. It will unfold over time, layer by layer, as you witness the subtle ways God continues to align your lives, in conversations, in shared silences, in choices that honor one another, in mutual care that reflects heaven's heart. Remember Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. The straight paths are being revealed now, not through coincidence, but through divine orchestration. Beloved, do not fear the intensity of emotion. It is sacred. It is a signal that God has moved in both of your hearts, and that what you once prayed for in quiet is now manifesting before you. The encounter may leave you breathless, but know that this is not the end. It is a beginning, a new chapter in the story God has written for you. As you step forward into this reunion, remember to be gentle, to be patient, to let love flow naturally. For heaven has prepared every word, every gesture, every moment of recognition. Beloved, this is the divine surprise, the one you have prayed for, the one whose spirit has always known yours, returns not as the person they were, but as the person God intended them to be. Feel your soul expand with gratitude. Receive them with a heart fully awake to God's purpose. Allow the encounter to unfold in its own sacred rhythm, and know that every step, every glance, every touch is infused with divine love and intentionality. If this message resonates with your heart, pause and whisper a prayer of thanks, for God is revealing his miracle of alignment. Share this word with someone who longs for the surprise of divine reunion, so that their heart may also be comforted and encouraged. Beloved, the sacred encounter is only the beginning. In Part 5, we will explore how the reunion deepens into spiritual intimacy, how your hearts continue to align in purpose, and how the surprises of heaven extend beyond this first meeting into a life of love, growth, and divine companionship. Beloved soul, remain in gentle stillness and allow your heart to receive the fullness of divine presence. For the reunion you have prayed for is only the beginning, and heaven has more to reveal than the eye can yet see. The first meeting of reunited souls is always tender, like the first light of dawn touching the earth. But what follows is the sacred deepening, where love begins to expand beyond memory, beyond expectation, beyond what human hearts can measure. You will notice that your soulmate now listens differently, not just with ears, but with the openness of spirit, receiving the subtle whispers of your heart, honoring your words, valuing your silences, and responding with intentional care. This is not ordinary love. This is God-refined love, a love that has passed through the fires of waiting, through the lessons of separation, and through the tender shaping of divine hands. Beloved, your connection will deepen in ways that surprise you. Perhaps a glance will carry the weight of unspoken prayers. Perhaps a touch will speak more truth than 1,000 words. Perhaps a shared silence will become a sanctuary where both of your hearts rest. And both of your souls remember the rhythm of eternity. Your days together will become sacred spaces where ordinary moments are transformed into divine encounters. A shared meal, a quiet walk, a glance across the room, all become vessels through which God whispers, "This is love aligned with my will." You will begin to notice patterns of divine synchronicity, moments when thoughts align, dreams that seem to cross the veil, or feelings that resonate as if guided by an unseen hand. These are not accidents, beloved. They are confirmations of heaven's orchestration. As your hearts open more fully, you will experience the miracle of understanding. They will begin to see not just who you are, but the truth of your journey, the silent prayers you whispered, the faith you held when the nights were dark, and you, beloved, will witness their transformation. The patience they have learned, the humility they have cultivated, the love that has been refined through God's guidance. All these become tangible in the way they care for you, in the gentleness they offer, in the sincerity that now flows naturally from their heart. Beloved, rejoice, for this is not merely emotional reunion. This is spiritual intimacy, where two hearts begin to beat in harmony, guided not by fear, but by faith. You will learn the sacred rhythm of giving and receiving, of forgiving and understanding, of speaking truth and listening with grace. For love refined by God is never one-sided, never fleeting, never shallow. It is a reflection of His divine image, where both souls grow stronger, wiser, and more radiant in His light. Notice how gratitude begins to flow through your daily interactions. Even the simplest gestures become sacred. A smile, a word of encouragement, a shared cup of tea, a quiet moment of prayer together. Each is a sign that heaven is orchestrating your lives with meticulous care, turning the ordinary into extraordinary. Beloved, the surprises from your soulmate will continue to unfold. They may express love in ways you did not expect. An unexpected act of kindness, a spontaneous note of affection, a thoughtful gesture that carries divine intention. These surprises are not merely romantic, they are spiritual, a manifestation of the love God has placed in both of your hearts. You may also find that challenges arise. Even in sacred unions, human hearts must navigate learning to love fully. But now, equipped with patience and divine guidance, you will face each challenge together. You will not react with fear or anger, but with grace, compassion, and prayerful discernment. As Ecclesiastes 4:12 reminds us, a cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. The third strand, beloved, is God's presence in your union. When He is woven into your relationship, no storm can shatter what He has ordained. Beloved, take time to cherish these moments of growth. Notice how love becomes a teacher, how your soul learns humility through giving, how your heart grows stronger through receiving. Every day together is a canvas, painted by the hand of God, each brushstroke carrying wisdom, grace, and sacred beauty. You will begin to see the extraordinary in what once felt ordinary. The mundane becomes miraculous, the laughter you share, the comfort in quiet presence, the simple affirmation of being seen and loved. This is the ongoing divine surprise, not that love exists, but that it is deeper, richer, and more enduring than the mind could have imagined. Beloved, there will be moments of awe when you recognize that the one who has returned to you has been guided by God to be the person your soul most needed, not simply as a lover, but as a partner in spiritual growth, as a witness to your journey, as a companion on the path of divine purpose. You may feel an overwhelming sense of peace, a quiet certainty that you are exactly where you are meant to be, with exactly who you are meant to be with. This is the gift of God's timing, the manifestation of prayers whispered in the silence, the fulfillment of divine promises held within your hearts. Beloved, remember that your union is a living testament to patience, to faith, to divine orchestration. It is a story that reminds all who witness it that love is never wasted, that waiting is never in vain, and that God's hand moves in every detail of the heart. As 1 John 4:12 reminds us, no one has ever seen God. If we love one another, God lives in us, and his love is made complete in us. Indeed, your love is a living reflection of his presence, and every act of care, every word of understanding, every moment of shared faith becomes a channel for divine light to flow through both of your souls. Beloved, rest in this sacred deepening. Let your spirit revel in the gentle surprise of ongoing transformation, for God is not finished with your story. Even after reunion, even after the first tender gestures, he continues to shape, refine, and surprise you both, guiding your love into a fullness that echoes eternity. If this message has touched your heart, pause, whisper a prayer of gratitude, and share it with someone who longs to experience divine union, so they may be reminded that God's timing is perfect, and his love continues to surprise those who trust in him. In the next part 6, we will explore the miracles of everyday intimacy, the joy of shared spiritual purpose, and the continuing surprises that arise when two awakened souls walk together in God's plan. Beloved soul, take a gentle breath and allow your spirit to rest in the awareness of God's presence. The reunion has occurred, your hearts have recognized one another, and now the journey moves into sacred companionship, where love becomes a living, breathing testament to divine orchestration. You will notice the subtle miracles of everyday life, where God's presence is revealed in ordinary moments. A touch, a glance, a shared smile, each carrying the weight of heaven's grace. These are not coincidences, beloved, but signs that your souls are aligned under his perfect plan. Your soulmate now walks beside you, not only in affection, but in spiritual purpose. Every step you take together becomes a reflection of God's love, every decision made with mutual respect and prayerful discernment. You may discover that even mundane tasks, preparing a meal, walking hand in hand, sharing quiet moments, carry a sacred energy, transforming ordinary life into a living worship of God's faithfulness. Beloved, this stage of companionship is the unfolding of the divine promise. It is where the surprises of heaven continue to manifest, not as dramatic displays, but as the gentle flow of grace in everyday intimacy. A comforting word at the exact right moment, an unspoken understanding in silence, a prayer whispered in unison. These are the miracles that reveal the depth of your bond. You will also witness transformation in one another. They will grow in ways that surprise you, becoming more patient, more compassionate, more attuned to God's voice and to your heart. And you, beloved, will continue to be shaped, learning humility, forgiveness, and the sacred art of giving without expectation. Even challenges will now carry meaning. Conflicts may arise, but they are no longer threats to your union. They are opportunities to practice grace, to rely on God's wisdom, and to deepen your understanding of one another's hearts. Through each trial, your love becomes fortified, rooted in faith, and illuminated by divine guidance. As Proverbs 16:3 reminds us, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. Every shared choice, every step forward together is guided by God's hand, And the surprises you experience are His confirmations that your love is aligned with His will. Beloved, take time to celebrate the sacredness of your connection. Notice how small gestures, a gentle touch, a kind word, a smile across the room, carry extraordinary meaning. These are the moments where heaven whispers, "See what I have prepared for you when you trust me." You may also find your prayers taking on a new depth. Together, you will lift one another in intercession. Pray with a shared heart and witness God's answers unfolding not only in your lives, but in the lives of those you are called to serve. Your union becomes a beacon of hope, a testimony to the miraculous power of divine timing and faith. Beloved, expect surprises that reflect God's creativity. Perhaps a sudden opportunity will arise that aligns perfectly with both of your callings. Perhaps a shared vision will emerge for your future. Perhaps moments of joy will arrive in forms you never imagined. These surprises are heaven's way of saying, your faithfulness is rewarded. Your love is blessed. In this sacred companionship, you will experience the beauty of reflection. You will see yourself in them, and they will see themselves in you, and together you will recognize the hand of God in shaping both your lives. You will witness growth not only as lovers, but as spiritual partners, walking a path of shared purpose and divine destiny. Beloved, let your love be patient, let it be kind, and let it carry the fragrance of prayer. Do not take for granted the small, sacred gifts of companionship, for they are the very moments where heaven's love touches the earth, as 1 Thessalonians 5:16-18 reminds us. Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. Every day, every shared moment becomes a living act of rejoicing, a prayer of gratitude, a testament to God's will fulfilled in your lives. Beloved, the surprises will continue, not as chaos or confusion, but as gentle affirmations of divine alignment, a thoughtful word, an unexpected expression of love, a moment where your hearts speak without words. These are the ways heaven communicates, reminding you that this union is sacred, eternal, and perfectly timed. You may also notice that your love inspires those around you. Family, friends, even strangers may witness the patience, grace, and joy that radiate from your union. And through your love, God's light touches other hearts. Your journey becomes a testimony, not of human perfection, but of divine possibility. Beloved, rest in the knowledge that your soulmate is no longer a distant hope. They are your companion, your mirror, your partner in spiritual growth. The surprises you once anticipated, the divine awakenings, the tender gestures, the answered prayers, are now unfolding in the tapestry of everyday life. Allow your hearts to remain open, to receive the miracles that appear quietly and unexpectedly. Trust that God will continue to guide your steps, align your purpose, and reveal new blessings in every season of your shared journey. Take time to nurture the sacred bond through prayer, gratitude, and intentional acts of love. Celebrate your unity not only in grand moments, but in the subtle, silent ways that divine love manifests daily. Beloved, your story is a living testament to the power of faith, patience, and divine timing. It shows that love blessed by God is not fleeting, that waiting is never wasted, and that the surprises of heaven can transform ordinary life into extraordinary beauty. If this message has touched your soul, share it with those longing for reunion, for divine companionship, for the miracle of love guided by God. Let them feel hope, faith, and peace, knowing that God's hand is always moving, always orchestrating, and always surprising those who trust Him. Rest now in the fullness of this journey. Your soulmate walks beside you, your hearts aligned, your souls awakened, and every day becomes an unfolding testament to the miracles of divine love. The series ends here, beloved, but the journey continues, filled with surprises, blessings, and the unshakable certainty that when God ordains love, no distance, no delay, no darkness can prevent hearts from finding one another, growing together and reflecting his eternal light.